Oh no.
Missing.
Greg?
Missing.
I thought this was a duet.
Missing.
Oh, so you're just gonna sing all the parts? Those are not the right sounds.
Missing.
Can you hear me?
Missing. Oh, missing.
Bonk.
Welcome to Miss Thing. I'm Greg.
And I'm Tim. And this is a podcast that celebrates and appreciates the Miss Things of the past, present, and future.
Yeah, in every episode, we take a key moment from our Miss Thing storied career and do what we do best, which is make it all about us.
And we are on one today.
We are really on one. We've been talking full 40 minutes nonstop prior to getting on the mic.
Yeah. Forgot to actually start the pod.
Yeah, you couldn't even imagine the ground we've covered. And I'm doing it all with a tweaked neck. Yeah, imagine. Imagine what I go through in this life.
Yeah.
Could you tell?
I felt, if anything, that you were standing up straighter, that you were actually kinder.
Yeah, the stiffness suits me.
Exactly. You were holding back a little bit more.
Sure. Yeah, of course. From out of pain.
Yeah.
I do have to say, at the gym this morning, which is where I tweaked my neck, I think I've told you about this before, and maybe off mic.
Okay.
There was a person right behind me, right when I tweaked my neck. I could see them in the mirror. This person, the only person I've ever been in a fist fight with.
Oh
in
my God.
Elementary school.
Oh my God. Okay, yeah.
So
yes, you told me this. Okay.
There is a guy from this small town I grew up in. Right after we had this fight, by the way, he moved away. I had never seen him again. Cut to a few weeks ago at the gym. All of a sudden I see this guy. I'm like, how do I know? Wait a second. He looks so specific. I cannot even remember his name. I can only remember his first name.
I can only remember his fist.
No, he must remember my fist.
Oh, so wait, he didn't punch you back?
Well, he hit me. Okay. And his friends hit me.
Where did he hit you?
Somewhere in the midsection.
Okay.
Yeah, I was very cushioned at that moment in time. So it didn't hurt.
Yeah.
But I sort of grabbed him, started railing on his chest. And he, to his credit, he sort of stopped and he never made fun of me again. So I see him. I've been seeing him at the gym. Yeah. I know it's him. He has such a very distinct
Do you
look.
think he recognizes you?
I don't know, because I don't think I look the same. But he has been kind of looking at me like this. But I really don't think I look the same as I did.
Yeah.
But he looks exactly the
Do you know what he does? Have you done any sort of deep dive?
I don't know, but I'm trying to figure that out. But today, so there's a lot of gays at my gym now. One of the gays goes up, starts talking to him. One of the gays knows him. So he's talking to gays. He was being smiley with gays. He's turned to leave. Is he maybe gay?
Well, that would make sense that maybe he was bullying you because he was saw something he didn't like in himself in you.
A lot of people see things they don't like in me. But it is a reflection.
I find a new one.
But it is a reflection of them, of course. That's what I think.
That to me is for sure what it is. Is he was deeply closeted or didn't even know he was gay.
Right.
Saw some little, prancy, flamboyant musical theater guy and then just went to town.
Yeah, well, he was obviously into me, as any gay person is.
And when someone's into you, they get physically violent.
Yeah, they get physically violent. They sort of make fun of you mercilessly. Crazy. I was trying to figure it out. I was like, well, that would be the plot twist of the century.
Okay, I want you to talk to him. I kind of want you to have sort of a, I don't know, come to Jesus moment.
I know. I'm wondering if I should talk to him like I don't know him and sort of figure a way into the conversation and sort of deceive him. Yeah. Sort of get to the bottom of what's going on. Because
give a different name.
Okay.
Do a whole backstory,
Oh my God, I'm not a good liar, and I'm certainly not a good actor.
Honey.
I wouldn't be here if I was.
There's nothing I want more now is for you guys to pretend to be John, whatever, go up to him, have this, and then invite him to that other gym. Oh no, that gym closed down. I want you to go to the gym with the ball.
With the ball
hole.
Blame it on him.
Yeah.
Get him arrested.
Exactly.
And thrown in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, get my revenge.
I have a feeling if you guys talked, he would like, I don't know why I'm like being nice, but I feel like he would like apologize. Like I feel like he would. I just think he would have been like, "Oh, I was an idiot when I was a kid."
I'm gonna say he seems really lovely. He looked really nice, and also I remember
he's like working out nice.
No, he's
waving.
He has like a nice energy. I even used to think this, which is weird because like he's the only person I've ever like been in a fight with.
Yeah,
but I don't like think it was his fault. Like I feel like he actually has a good energy. Is that weird?
Well, I guess it's just weird to have a good energy while he's bullying. So then that makes me think that maybe he hasn't turned a new leaf if he's still projecting good energy.
Well, I do think peer pressure is just,
right. I saw this thing today about when Adam Lambert was performing, I guess, for the finale of American Idol. He kissed a guy. Do you remember this?
I think I've heard about this.
So he kissed a guy on the stage, like the finale night or like the night before. You know how there's like the two big nights, or at least there used to be when American Idol was like more of a thing.
Yeah, but was he the
he was the
Redacted season? Carrie Underwood, Redacted?
No. He was. I honestly think he was like a couple years later.
Interesting.
But still kind of. I felt like he was kind of like the last gasp of like
American Idol.
You know what I mean? Because I think he was like, I think he was even like after Chris Daughtry. I'm not sure. Anyways,
who knows?
But he kissed a guy, and then he was supposed to go on to like Good Morning America, and then they like right after the stage he talked to Access Hollywood, and Access Hollywood very shadily is being like, how do you think people are going to react to like what you certain people aren't going to like this, and this is 2009 by the way. And so it's like, but it's not that long ago. You know what I mean? Like, it is obviously 15 years ago, which is crazy. 16 years ago. Oh, my God.
We're not going to talk about that. Don't say that. You're disgusting for saying that.
He then got booted from Good Morning America.
I do remember this.
And then went to, like, CBS. And then they made him talk about, like, why he did it. And then they showed a clip of Britney and Madonna kissing. And right afterwards, they showed him kissing, but that it was blurred out. They blurred out him and the guy kissing. And I'm like, it's like, I want to show Gen Z this, where it's like, you guys didn't realize like what the culture was even just in 2009.
That was so recent. I'm shocked to hear he went on CBS and that they didn't tar and feather him.
I know. Well,
famous thing that they used to do.
They basically did tar and feather him. They were like, why would you do that? Look at this disgusting thing. And then it's blurred out.
That is crazy. The network that brought you the Justin Timberlake, Janet Jackson wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah.
And then Janet Jackson never worked again.
I know.
Well, she's worked.
She's
she's fine.
Yeah, she's fine. Anyways.
Do you have a Dod Mom sauce, Tim? Dod Mom sauce being, of course, our first segment. Doll of the day, mother of the moment, sister of the second.
I tried to cut you off. I'm cutting you off right now.
Yeah, I know. It's it's a great for the listener's ear. That's our first segment of the podcast. Most famous first segment, where we pick a person, place, or thing that we're currently super obsessed with.
Yes. Oh, do I have a Dod Mom, which is...
Okay.
The other day, I was leaving the gym, and I hadn't eaten, starving. And I'm like, I need to go home right away.
Don't brag on our podcast.
You just talked about how you were at the gym mere hours ago.
Yeah, and I tweaked my neck. I'm sort of
my favorite word right now is mere. I keep trying to just drop it into everything. Like, you're mere 2 feet away from me.
Oh, I thought you said mirror, but said it wrong.
No, mere. You know, like, you're mere moments away from
mere
enjoying
mortals.
More laughter of us talking, listeners.
Sure, mere mortals. Which is what I call people that are not me.
Right. Yeah. Those are our fans. But I was starving, and I was like, I really just need to go home immediately to eat. But then I keep remembering that I need to buy stamps. And I was like, you know what? This isn't going to take that long. And so I'm just like, even though I'm starving and I'm,
I didn't know that I was starving until
my
I
God.
tasted you. I have been so obsessed. That's like been kind of my almost dot mom sauce for weeks. Keep that in mind.
What, that is also such an old song.
Probably 2009 vibes.
Yeah, exactly.
Gen Z's,
Yeah.
get in your time machine,
Yes.
go back to
Yeah.
2009.
Well, also, this is a random, Haley Steinfeld, she has like a big lesbian fan base, and I like stumbled upon that corner of the internet the other day about how she just got engaged, and like so many people were like crying, reacting to it, being like, no!
I get that.
Yeah.
She was like 10 when she hit the scene.
Yeah. Anyway,
Wait,
okay.
anyways.
So I'm starving. I'm like, you know what though? I'll just quickly run to CVS, get my forever stamps.
Sure.
And then bounce.
CVS, not a post office or anything.
It was late.
Okay.
Yeah. It was after hours.
Okay.
And I had in fact Googled where you can get stamps, and CVS was one of them.
Sure. So you couldn't send a letter if you tried at that time.
I could not.
Okay.
And so I get to CVS, I run in, and you can't use the express checkout because you have to get it behind the counter.
Stamps?
The stamps, you have to get it behind. Do you not know this about stamps?
I didn't know this.
You think they're just out there on the aisle?
For anyone to just sort of remove
Yeah.
from the sticker
Stamps
sheet.
are like cigarettes, but you have to go. They're behind the counter. I think they're actually like underneath in the cash register.
Sure, or even like deodorant at this point.
Oh, everything.
Everything is behind bulletproof glass.
So meanwhile, first off, it's like taunting me where there is like 10 express checkouts completely empty. There is two people in front of me in line together talking to the cashier.
Sure,
cashier,
yeah.
it is cashier.
Telling their
Yeah.
entire life story, I'm
Well,
sure.
no, but basically in the sense of I'm like, okay, they do have a full cart, but like this will go quick. I'm doing like self-meditation to calm down so that I can just get out of there as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Literally, I kid you not, takes out her purse, and then it's not the long CVS receipts, but instead like little rip-off receipts, 20 individual coupons. And then this woman, I am not kidding you, item by item, gives an individual like coupon to like
She's coupon queen.
Coupon queen, house down boots. And I will say,
You're about to say something, but I need to say something
Please.
so important. You call it coupon. Coupon. Which is it?
I say
coupon or
coupon.
coupon? Yeah, you
Coupon.
call it coupon.
what do you say?
Sometimes
You say coupon?
Sometimes in my
Like
life,
coupon mustard?
I've spent time
In
around
jail.
people in this world that say
Yeah.
coupon. I've been guilty of saying coupon myself.
But
now I
you're
don't
getting
know.
me. Yeah,
now
you're
I'm
getting me
in my head. No, I think it's coupon.
Coupon.
Anyway, so sorry for that tangent.
Okay. So this coupon.
Coupon.
I get
Coupon queen.
Coupon queen. The listeners have turned this episode off.
Well, yeah, this is horrible that I would.
But she is going to town, individual item, each coupon, individual item. I'm like, this is going to take forever. She finally, and I'm not kidding you, I'm behind her, like, arms crossed, like, basically, like, huffing, being the worst version of myself. I'm hungry.
Oh, I'd be like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, out loud.
And I want to say it was actually only like 3 minutes, but for me, it felt like 4 hours.
Yeah.
She finally gets to the last item. It's like toilet paper. And then the coupon doesn't work. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me.
Right.
And I thought, okay, well, literally, I'm not kidding you. She has not paid for everything is like that. Everything is free so far. She's not paid a single dime.
Right.
So I'm
She's
like, she
getting
can
money
pay
back.
$3.99 for this set of toilet paper. No, she's not.
No.
So then she calls.
You should have known better.
I know. Somehow they're at this CVS. I want to say there was 3 managers. I don't know what their roles were, but they kept calling different people in to like figure out what. And she's also not speaking English, so I don't really know what's happening.
You're gonna need all hands on deck with this
hands were on
situation.
deck.
Yeah.
She then, after, and I'm not exaggerating, 10 minutes of them going back and forth about this toilet paper, she does in fact get it off. And then I'm like, great. At this point, by the way, I'm just fixating on all the people using the express checkout. There has been at least 40 people who've come and gone, and I'm just waiting.
People have gone out and gotten master's degrees.
Yes.
Faster.
I finally then like get to like, it's gonna be me. And then she goes, wait, one more thing. And then her son comes from the aisles. And I forgot, because I did say 2 people, that in that time he had left. And he was gone for so long that I forgot about him.
Yeah.
He then comes back with like, not a basket, not a cart, but a basket full of more items. And then he pulled out of his wallet the same exact thing.
No.
I was literally like, this CVS is going to close. I'm starving. I'm going to pass away. Thank God, though, another person opened up and then went there. And then I got my stamps. But this is how I want to close the story, which is a very important thing that I didn't know. How much do you think a Forever stamp is?
They've gone up in price recently. I know this because
Yes.
Costco had signs, because you can get them at Costco.
What is your guess?
I think, are we at 75 now?
No. Wow, you're so much better than me.
Well, I know this simply because I'm
You're
so
always
on the
sending.
Costco beat.
You're always sending letters.
Yeah, well, I do have an affinity for snail mail and whale's tail.
I do feel like you are the type of person who's like sending an angry letter to like
Oh.
to CVS.
Well, you know I
Yeah.
can't get anyone on the phone.
Yeah,
I
that's
know
true.
I'll spend hours. I mean, it'll
Yeah.
get there quicker. I'll still be on hold.
Okay, so you think 75? That's your guess.
Sure, final answer.
73.
Oh, okay. I'm
You were
really
very-
close. I would have lost
I
on
literally
Price
was
is
gonna
Right.
say, I don't know how old I am, but I was like 43 cents. I was shocked at like how little $20 got me.
Oh,
I was like,
mean, in
I'm getting
this
20
day and age-
stamps basically. That's $1 stamp.
Exactly. No, I mean, and remember the days of 35, long gone are those days.
And you do remember those days.
Of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was of legal age at that point.
Yeah. Okay, Greg. What is your dad mom sauce?
Wow. Well, you know what? My dad mom sauce
Mm-hmm.
never thought I'd be here today. But I am going to have to say FKA Twigs. You know what?
You know what? How I thought in that moment it was going to be me.
Oh.
Just like the way that you built up to it, and you were like, I never thought I'd say this. I was like, oh my god, he's gonna say me.
Absolutely. No, not today. Keep dreaming, though.
Okay, Yousexia.
Yeah, and you know what I'm going to say. Why is it always you sexual? Why is it never me sexua? Or we sexua, God forbid.
I can't actually. I don't believe that she's a real artist in the sense of like I never hear any of the music. I just see the visuals.
Ding, ding, ding,
Yeah.
ding, ding. So here's the thing. And you know what? FK Twigs, I'm going to call her by her full English name, formerly known as Twigs. She ate down with
The
this album.
Okay.
Okay, I go back and forth. I'm
Okay.
just going to be real. I go back and forth with FKA Twigs. I think she's got all the goods. She's got incredible talent. She's really cool. Great singer, great dancer, and it doesn't always come together in a way that I think works. Sometimes it really works. Sometimes it's a little like, okay, Mary Magdalene, we're being like slow singing. Yousexia, like every.
Wait, why did you say Mary Magdalene?
She did like a whole Mary Magdalene phase and something.
Okay.
She
I was
gets
like, did
kinda-
Mary Magdalene slow sing?
I don't know. And then she's like, whoop, 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 whoop. It gets like a little indulgent.
It's like kind of like whisper, like talk sing in a way that is toxic to my ears.
Right. And you're like, where is the beat? Like,
Yes,
I'm hearing a lot
exactly.
of like hoots, owl hoots.
And
like
also,
very
it doesn't necessarily sound vocally impressive. All my love, Faka twin.
Well, here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are. We are giving the flowers. Like,
Okay.
everything has come together about this album. It is no skips. It's brilliant. Like, this last, Charlie had the same experience last summer where I just feel like it all sort of came together. Charlie was sort of doing the same sound for a while. Twigs, she's working with the right producers. Like, everything about the vibe is working. It's kind of like Ray of Light-esque.
Okay.
Like, it's got an early 2000s sort of like British pop, like sort of spacey sound.
Yeah, I know that didn't she used to date Robert Pattinson too?
Okay, that is all that can talk about. He thought she was married to Robert Pattinson, and he's like,
It's like really all I know about her too.
Yeah, and he was like, I think that's the coolest thing about both of them. And I was like, well, they're not together, and I don't remember that even happening. But he thought they were married. That being said, okay, so there's a song called Perfect Strangers. There's a lot of like, it feels like old things in a good way. So there's a song called Perfect Strangers that to me, and I've not heard, I've looked online, no one else seems to be clocking this. It sounds exactly like Mr. Saxo Beat.
What is that?
You don't know Mr. Saxo Beat, let me live, let me know, let me know, let the beat, let the beat, let the beat. Mr. Saxo Beat. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a song called Perfect Strangers that is Mr. Saxo Beat coded.
Wow. Okay.
There's another song, I think it's called like Stinky. It's not called Stinky. But it's or Shaky or something.
I kind of wish a pop star should release an album that's just called Stinky.
Yeah, well, it's called Stinky. It's a word that looks like stinky, and I think it's 2 syllables, but that to me sounds so like Starving, the Haley Steinfeld, Zed bop.
Oh.
Again, no one else is clocking this online. And then there's a song called Striptease, which I think is truly like an amazing work of art. And I'm so in right now. I'm calling it now. It's a really early contender for Album of the Year. I just
next year?
Really think...
Is it getting good reviews?
It got a 9.1 on Pitchfork, which is excellent.
That is really good.
I really invite you to listen to it. I loved it. Oh, and while we are on the subject of music, I mean, the world is burning down around us and everything is kind of like really rough right now, but we're eating with the girls. Sports Car by Tate McRae.
I've only seen the visuals.
Incredible. I mean, the Tate McRae's is sweeping the nation, as I've been saying for so long. Another song, I mean, I don't know if this is being clocked, but that song is literally buttons. It is buttons. And I'm not sure if, like, we're saying this online.
Okay.
And it works because it is buttons, but, like, someone needs to say it.
Yeah.
It's incredible, though. And with that... Let me live, let me go, let to move, let to see, let to be. Mr. Saxo Beat. We're back.
Hello, listeners.
It's time for our Miss Thing of the Week. And this week is a first.
This one is also, I'm so excited for this first. First of many.
The first of many. Yeah, probably featuring this particular Miss Thing. And let's just get into it. Yeah. Our Miss Thing of the Week is Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen.
It just fills me with endorphins saying their name.
I am amped. It could be the DP0, but also just the fact that we're talking about the Olsen twins. Our queens.
Our childhood.
Our life, our adulthood.
They're everything.
They are everything. Media moguls.
I mean, charisma in a bottle. The it factor. It is, you cannot deny that, like, when they are on screen, you just want to watch.
They were born with it. They were literally on Full House, 6 months?
Yeah.
They came out and they went, we need to get you guys on a family sitcom.
Talk about 6-month-year-olds stealing the thunder of an entire show. It's like you cannot get any younger and be like, the hot new young thing just came and took over. It's like they're the youngest to ever do it.
I mean, they invented, like, being young in Hollywood.
Yeah. And I even off camera, you guys can't see this, but I have the famous Vanity Fair magazine cover where they are on it with Hilary Duff, Mandy Moore, Lindsay Lohan, Raven.
They're back to back.
Back to back.
Not to mention my college classmates, which we will get into.
Oh, of course.
These girls were everything. I mean, in fact, like, well, first of all, let's get into the filmography for a minute. It Takes Two.
Yes. You have Winning London.
Oh my gosh. New York Minute.
You're doing the big ones, yeah.
Passport to Paris. I mean,
Billboard Dad.
Globetrotting Queens.
I mean,
put Paris on the map.
They put every when in Rome. They have done all of the cities. They've done To Grandmother's House We Go. They have done, as I've mentioned last week on the pod, Double Double, Toil, and Trouble.
Right.
They have done so... First off, and the hits, they have Brother for Sale. Great song, because when you Google them, they actually come up as a musical group. Duo.
Yes. Which was, I mean, that is one way to sort of classify what it is that they do, but really they do it all.
And not only, there are so many movies that we could get into, there's so little time, which is another great TV show that they did on ABC Family or Fox Family or whatever it was called for the year that it was there. Plus, my favorite, which is Two of a Kind. Two of a Kind was a TV show that took place in Chicago, so obviously I loved it.
Sure.
And I cannot. They were workhorses.
They were the it girls. I mean, everything for like. They were everything everyone wanted to be, the fashion icons that, like, they started fashion icons and, like, ended up, you were saying, last week, The Row. I completely forgot that that's what they did. I, of course, know them as my college classmates. I was at NYU when they were there. I, of course, did a fateful, I was at Starbucks once when Mary Kate, and a nod to that moment.
I'm holding a Starbucks right now.
Yeah, I famously went to the bathroom at Starbucks. I came back. Everyone in line, all my friends were like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I was like, what's going on? What's going on? They were sort of gesticulating in front of me, and they had me look down because not in my line of sight, I looked down. Several feet below me was Mary Kate. That famous red hair when she got out of treatment for the eating disorder. Yeah. And she was getting photographed left and right. They had security at the door. Wow. Security at the door.
They're billionaires.
Yeah.
And also, I believe that, like, they founded that company Dual Star, or I could fully be making that up.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, I think it was their, production company. And it was responsible for all of their movies. I'm actually mad right now that I want to just... One day, we're going to go, like, movie by movie and just watch all of them.
Oh, and we will do special episodes for our Patreon coming soon.
And these, like, I think that they're single-handedly responsible for everyone wanting to be a twin.
Oh, my God. Well, they're peak twin. I mean, they're pinnacle. They're both so in their power. I mean, the Winklevoss found quaking.
Exactly. And
they're still not as rich as them. And they're financial people.
And this is us telling you that we are going to, at some point, be doing a whole string of twins.
Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe even triplets.
One day. And certainly Octomom.
Oh, definitely. And all of John and Kate's kids. Okay. Greg, how do you make MK and A, as I affectionately call them?
Oh, I mean...
all about yourself.
Well, listen, I was, like, racking my brain. I mean, there were so many amazing stories from college. I had been in their presence... a few times.
Okay.
Until they dropped out famously because they wanted to do things they enjoyed, like taking yoga classes and reading scripts.
Yeah.
Which is famously one of them said that, which I just really admire in a person because I would love to drop out of things and do that too.
There's no reason to go to college if you are that successful already. I understand that they're like to be well-rounded, but I'm like, do that when you're 40. Like, do that at any other age, like, but right now, just like enjoy you worked your butt off.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they wanted some sense of normalcy, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm taken back to a very specific time in elementary school.
Hey.
I wasn't always like the fashion icon that I am today. At that point,
you always get photographed leaving your house. You have security when you go to Starbucks.
In my dreams. But when I was younger, as much as I wanted to sort of know anything about fashion, I didn't. First of all, I was giant. I didn't wear clothes well. The clothes were sort of wearing me.
Okay.
But I also was never really allowed to, buy clothes. I did have my staples.
Okay.
An Old Navy tech vest hates to see me coming.
Oh my! Well, we were two of a kind in that regard because did I love my Old Navy American flag T-shirt?
Oh, yeah. Anything Old Navy, that was like creme de la creme. That was the row for me back then. That was like as
Get
high.
my Old Navy flip flops. Yeah, cargo shorts. Yeah,
Absolutely. The Morgan Fairchild commercials, they sort of had me influenced.
God. Yes.
So, yeah, but I had my like 5 shirts, probably 4, that were always on rotation, and 5 pants, I want to say. And I had to do like a different variation of those outfits like each week, basically, and try and stick earlier to the, like if I wore like I could never wear anything twice.
Of course.
Yeah, but it was
even
the
though
same.
Like, the following week you would wear it.
No, of course. It was I could never wear the same thing twice in one week, and then I would wear the same 5 things over in the next week. And it was always like my t-shirts, like some variation on like a play t-shirt that I was in. And really out there pants. Including this pair of like really big, hideous red like cargo pants that were kind of like that material that like makes noise. I mean, back then, hideous. Now they'd be going for like $400 at a store.
Yeah.
And I never really had anything to pair it with, but I would sort of like, I had to, they were in the rotation, so I had to like be mismatching them. And then one day, I was looking at my closet, sort of Cher Horowitz style.
Okay.
And I decided to go out on a limb. Like the answer was in front of me all along.
Okay.
I had a red t-shirt from when I did a production of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, which I believed I spoke about when Eric Williams was on the pod.
Yes.
And these red pants.
Okay.
And I thought, the answer's been in front of me the whole time. Why have I never put these two together? And I will never forget walking into school that day.
Oh, no.
And instead of being called gay, I was called ketchup.
I was going to say tomato.
No one loved my outfit.
Yeah.
And I had to go through the whole day. I sort of instantly realized the mistake that I made. Oh, you say tomato. Well, at first I was so glad to be
You say
called...
tomato.
Well, I was so glad to be called ketchup at first and not be called, gay, faggot, whatever sort of slur. But then it was the joke became that I was ketchup made out of gay tomatoes.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was sort of the last time.
People are cruel.
Awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take that to the bank, Gen Z.
Yeah.
But so I learned a very valuable lesson that day, though, and that was that red is just not my color.
Red is not most people's color.
But some people
can pull it off. Okay.
I don't think so, but they try.
They try,
and they think they can. Red doesn't suit the body. Doesn't suit my skin tone.
No,
that's for sure.
It's very. I feel like I'm trying to picture someone who pulls off red. Probably the Jennifer shows. But
the Jennifer,
you guys can pull. All of you can pull it off.
Yeah, it's not my color,
No.
and also and then you never want to wear matching colors unless, of course, it's a suit or denim.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember that. I don't remember too many of my fashion choices from when I was a child, but I remember this day so distinctly, and it sort of really scared me.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, Tim, how do you make the Olsen twins all about you?
Well, this is one of those examples where I also have a direct connection, not necessarily to the Olsens, but I did, in fact, work on Fuller House, the reboot.
Right.
And when I say that, like, the love and reverence that I have is like times 10 when you are on that show, because they weren't involved at all, but the way that they talk about them as if they have been, that they passed away and they're now like these deities that that like everything revolves around, like, one day maybe we could get them.
Right.
Unfortunately, that was never the case.
Imagine being too good for the show that made you famous.
I know.
It's so
and also
Samantha
just, like,
Jones.
I remember that no one really had contact with them except for like kind of the big the creator, Bob. There's like two creators, Bob Boyette and Jeff Franklin, and Bob Boyette like was the only guy who could actually like get in contact with them, like no one else, because they're like the president. I don't even think they have like a cell phone. I mean, they do, but I feel like only like two people have it. It's just like just Elizabeth, probably.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see actually what they did and if they would have still switched on and off, like in each scene, which would have been kind of fun.
I know. It was like, I think it was one of those things where it's like, it would have been so fun if they just did like a little cameo. But Ashley and Mary Kate make me think of Hello, working on that show. And it makes me think of also, off of all of their famous film and TV oeuvre, they always would, switch places, try to pull one over on the adults, trying to be in two places at once. And one time when I was at the show, there wasn't unfortunately any like upward mobility for me, and so I was like low key trying to like jump ship to another show that I would actually have upward mobility.
Yeah.
And so it was the finale of one of the seasons of Fuller House, and I was working. It was tape night, and I found out from our mutual friend, I won't name them, that they were looking, that the Connors next door, it was on the Warner Brothers lot, and on the Warner Brothers lot there's like you work out of like houses in like a fake cul-de-sac.
Right.
And so the house next door was the writer's room for the Connors, and they were looking for someone to work on the show. And I was like, oh my God, I have to get onto that because I'm not going to have any upward mobility at Fuller House. But also I don't want to appear ungrateful, and I don't want them to know that I'm like applying for another job, because then I don't want them to fire me, because even though it was the finale, like I still was going to be working for a couple months after the show.
Right.
So then I found out from my friend that was like, okay, at like whatever time, I can't remember what it was, like the Connors bosses have a interview like slot open for you. And like, I was like, is there any wiggle room? Because like our day is so busy. And I was, at the time I was assisting the two bosses, the two showrunners.
Yeah.
And I was like always having to go back and forth, and it was tape night of the finale. So it was like the busiest day ever. And I was just, and she was like, no, like that's the only time that they have available. And so then I was just like, okay, how do I like not let both of my bosses, who both also had meetings at different places at that exact same time, and so I already was going to be like going back and forth between the two bosses, and then I realized like I can just tell the bosses that I'm with the other one and then take the interview.
This is the plot of every single Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen movie.
And so then, and to top it off, it's the finale, and my parents are in town, and I gotten them access to come and watch the taping. And so at the beginning of this thing, this is happening, and I have to like then go let my parents, like give them a tour. I'm like so stressed trying to prepare for this. And my bosses were nice, like, oh, take like 15 minutes to take your parents around the lot and then like let them onto the stage. So I go do that. One thing, check it off the list. Then I go and I have to take one boss like to the stage to like have them talk to all the cast. And then usually I would like stay, but I like was like, oh, the other boss actually needs me in the writer's room. And so then I like went to the writer's room, and of course,
be careful with this.
I was so nervous too. He goes, great, can you actually hand him the script? And so then I was like, okay, already the plan is falling apart because I wasn't planning to actually go. And so then I go deliver the script to the other boss. And I'm like, he's like, oh, you should just stay if you're already here. And I was like, oh, he actually needs me back on stage.
Right.
So then I like freak out. Meanwhile, it's like 4 minutes until I'm supposed to actually have the interview. I'm so stressed, and I'm so nervous because they're right next door. So I'm like, if he just like opens the blinds, he can like see me going in.
Sure. Or if, God forbid, they use their cell phones to communicate with each other.
It was so nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, starting to go do it. And I get a text or a call from security that's saying that my parents can't get onto that like they don't have the proper badges or something. So then I have to call my friend on the Connors and be like, is there any way that you can stall them? And she was like, I can't stall them. And then she was like, wait, actually, like I can stall them for 5 minutes, because she was controlling the golf cart. And so she was like, I'll just like do a log loop. And so take long. So then I got on a golf cart, rushed to stage, like basically like told the security guard, like, what are you doing? Like, they have the proper access. Got my parents into the stage, ran back. It was like, whatever, 3:05 p.m., let's say. I got there exactly at the time that they were walking in, had the meeting. It went great. I feel like I'm on cloud 9. I've pulled off all of these things no one's figured out. I like saunter back into my office being like, wow, I cannot believe I pulled this off. To then have 3 missed calls and like 5 frantic emails from, not only was I assisting 2 bosses, but I was also assisting the biggest boss, like the creator who usually is in like the East Coast or whatever. So he's kind of like a Charlie in like Charlie's Angels, where it's like he's never really around, but everyone is terrified of him. Not because he's like mean, he's actually like a jolly grandfather, but just because he holds so much power.
And he has Mary-Kate and Ashley's phone number.
And he's the only one who has Mary-Kate and Ashley's phone number. And he won't give it to anyone else, too, by the way. Like, the cast will be like, hello.
You know they share a phone number.
What?
You know they share a phone number.
Oh, 100%. And so I get all these missed calls that are like, call me immediately. The next one's like, where are you? Next one was like, hello. And I was just like, oh my God, great, I'm fired.
This is on the last day.
I was so worried about the other 2 bosses and not this one. And I call him back and he's like, where have you been? And I was like, okay, I'm just going to come clean and like tell him, even though it's the last day, but I still would have 3 months, but I was like just terrified.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just gonna be honest. And I was like, well, like my parents are in town. So, and I just said that and he goes, oh, your parents are in town? Say no more. Such a like full house moment.
Right.
Where he's like, oh, I get it. You should be with your family. So I never got caught. I ended up getting the job.
That's so you not getting caught.
Not getting caught. And it really was my like Mary-Kate and Ashley moment.
Yeah. You're also so Parent Trap, even though they weren't in that.
I know, but they should have been.
They should have been. It would have been a little too obvious.
Yeah.
But you're also so
because we can tell them apart. We all can tell them apart.
Yeah, of course. Their parents, absolutely not. That is so. You're so full of hijinks. Yeah. You're so 90s sitcom reboot.
It
like
really
today.
100
between Fuller House and the Connors.
Yeah,
like
and in my real life.
You are so 90s sitcom. Yeah. Not updated at all.
I actually have an identical twin that just we switch places on the pod, so you don't even know which one I am.
That explains
Tim and Jim.
Mood swings. Tim and Jim.
Yeah.
All right.
With that. Okay. Welcome back.
And it is time for Diva Down.
Mm-hmm.
Diva Down, of course, is our segment where we give unsolicited advice to a person, place, or thing that really needs it, whether they want to hear it or not.
This person really needs this, which our Diva Down this week is Elon Musk.
For doing the
Nazi
salute on the day of the inauguration. Wow, where to begin? I'm just going to hop right into my advice. Don't do that.
That's my advice.
Oh, interesting.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Don't do that. And if you do that, apologize.
Yeah. And even if it's something that's just kind of similar to it, don't do that.
Yeah. I am awkward and do things with my body constantly that I regret.
Many times on this pod today.
Sure. Absolutely. But I will cop to it. Mm-hmm. It is absolutely horrifying that can be done. And Diva Down, well, not only Elon Musk. You know what? He's the only person that I support deportation for.
Well,
I think he needs to get out of this country immediately.
Wavelength, because my advice is you love space so much and space travel is your frontier. And I actually do think that is one area in which I'm like, please thrive. Please create this technology and you be the first person to get on out. Go.
No one wants you here. No one wants you here. You've done nothing but
go into space and start doing whatever you want to do over there.
The thing is, though, he's all talk. He's never going to get to space. The guy can't do anything, and yet he's somehow the richest man in the world. Diva Down. Billionaires, I don't think they should exist.
Yes.
I think that you can make up to $999,999,999, all the way to 99 cents.
Yeah.
You can make all of that. And I think the second you transition to billions, that money goes into an account that goes out to like the bottom 99% of people on this planet. That money gets distributed to people. If you want to make more money, great. Go for it. But it goes to us.
Yeah, that's good advice for me because I'm so close to that.
Sure.
You know, to make sure that I don't hit that extra cent above it.
Well, that's the thing. I'm keeping us humble because we are about to crack the Billion Boys Club.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's we're on the verge.
Yeah.
Individually too, like with our
Artists
salaries
on the verge.
Yeah. Split between us. Yeah, we're both about to hit $1 billion.
This couch right now is a net worth of almost $2 billion.
Yeah, and we will. Yeah, and we pledge to you that once we hit $1 billion,
yes,
we're gonna
Scott's
start.
honor.
Yeah, we're gonna start paying you Jennifer Z's.
Yes.
And Inertia and Jennifer Shas.
Yeah, and you meerkats out there.
Yeah.
I don't really even want to say anything more about this subject because it doesn't deserve any more space and time other than don't do that, go to space. And with that,
follow us on TikTok.
Yes, please.
Instagram.
Yes. Follow us at Missing the Pod on Instagram, TikTok. Put 5 stars and above anywhere you can. Tell your friends.
Yep.
Cynthia, we love you.
We love you.
I saw you on Kimmel the other day. You were great.
Voice is still
congrats
voicing.
on that Oscar nom. We haven't actually officially congratulated you on that.
Yeah, okay, congratulations on the Oscar nomination, Cynthia. Don't do the Nazi salute.
Yeah. And with that,
goodbye. Miss Thing Podcast is created, executive produced, and hosted by Greg Trimmer and Tim Zientek.
It's produced and edited by Benji Simons, with cover art and additional creative support by Claude Zeins.
Follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Miss Thing the Pod.
New episodes drop every Tuesday. Watch on YouTube or listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Please subscribe, rate, and review, but only raves. Strictly 5 stars and above.
Follow Greg at Greg Trimmer and Tim at Tim_Zientek on all social media. Bonk.